Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. This is iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because we're going to talk about some bad news when it comes to people paying their bills. So before I get into it, please take a second. Please, as always, just like the video, comment, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join the email list. And today we have a sponsor, Patriot Gold Group, which I'll talk about later. But man, oh man, I'm telling you, you finish Labor Day and everybody just, folds up shop and you say, hey, now we got to look forward to the holidays and Christmas. Man, I'm telling you, there is no break with anything. But one thing that's happening right now, everybody's back to school. And you have to look at the economy and the fact that people are not being able to make their car payments right now. You have a slew of people that are at 60 days delinquent on their car payments right now. And this is bad because, people are doing something called auto pawn, and that is when you have an existing auto loan and you have an existing car that's paid off and you have the pink slip, you can go get a loan against the car. They'll determine the value and they'll write you a check. The problem with that is that if you don't make those payments, those cars are seized and the creditors come after them immediately. I spoke with a bankruptcy attorney. He just said, I tell people never to do this because if you are 31 days late, they will come pick up the car. 31 days, not, hey, 3 months and there's no story time, it's pay us or else. And, I witnessed this, myself when I was broke, 10 plus years ago. And man, oh man, they just are ruthless when it comes to this. So people are borrowing money to buy cars well over 20% right now. Man, it's unbelievable. The numbers and the interest rates have gone from the special, 2, 3, 4, 5% for somebody with great credit to the rates are just through the roof right now. There's that. And the next thing is, of course, credit card payments. We've heard about, delinquent credit cards, and we've heard about credit card debt hitting over $1 trillion. But, I, for one, don't believe that borrowing money builds strength and builds character and builds wealth. I think that, you have assets like real estate that you can borrow against. That's another story. But, borrowing, financing your big screen TV doesn't build any wealth for anybody. Credit card companies that handle store credit cards and the white label credit cards. In other words, there are card companies that are banks that do the financing for different credit card companies, completely behind. Macy's, think about this, the last quarter that they reported, they had $32 million less in sales in the last quarter, which is staggering, but the credit card delinquencies are through the roof right now. And they are cutting people off left and right. I'm gonna walk to the end here and then make a U-turn. So it's awful right now. And the thing that you're seeing that's kind of different is I'm always constantly hit up by people, hey, I want to buy a business. I want to get into this different area. And I always ask people what they know about. And one thing that you see is you see trends with people like, hey, do you have money sitting in a savings account? Over $10,000, you shouldn't do that. You should be out with, you should have your own Amazon store. There's a company, Bentiaga, that was huge at building and selling e-commerce stores on Amazon. They just filed bankruptcy on Friday. And it was a shock to everybody. But this company built million-dollar enterprises. And here's the one thing that I always am amazed at that people don't know until you're in business. I don't care what you are selling in this world. I don't care if you are in the auto industry, if you sell a service product, if you are a termite guy, you're a roofer. There is unique financing for your industry, and people don't get it. They will finance, potential customers. They'll finance your receivables if you do commercial work. There's ways to get money. Always. Just how expensive it's going to be, that's the $64,000 question. But these people that are out there, man, it is nuts because nobody wants to look at how things are right now. They just want to ignore it. They want to act like this is no big deal. There's not a problem out there, not a care in the world, but everybody is behind right now. And the problem with this financing of these cars is that people have gotten to go to a much higher interest rate. Like I said, 19, 20%, and they're just not making the payments on those cars right now. And people's thinking is, oh, of course they're going to make their car payment because they need to get to work. No, people don't want to deal with it right now. Just don't want to do that. So it's very interesting, but when you start to see the smaller companies, the smaller credit cards and store credit cards like Kohl's, JCPenney's too for that matter, and you're seeing the delinquencies that people are behind on, it's only getting worse, guys. It's only getting worse right now. But the car financing, this is something that we've talked a lot about, but it just keeps escalating and getting worse, and the numbers keep growing right now. And again, if you want to buy a car, if you want to buy anything of value, you just do the research on it. And here's the thing. Credit unions do a lot of car financing. That's where they're going to have their necks on the chopping block. And if you want to talk to the credit unions that repossess cars, who handles your repossessions here? Have that conversation with the, oh, that's terrible, Dan. That's a really uncomfortable conversation. Somebody's got to take care of those cars and pull those cars in. Look for repo companies. Look for different ways of getting those cars, because what they generally do is auction the cars off and get pennies on the dollar. Then they sue the people. Like, let's say you owe 25 grand in a car. They sell the car at auction and get 15,000. Don't think just forget about the 10,000 you owe us. No, they sue the people for that. Put it on their credit. Goes upside down. They can get a 1099 for the as like it's income, which I always get a kick out of that. So that's one thing we saw in the last downturn was think about this. You're seeing people that lost their real estate, lost their houses because real estate values had dropped, and these people went out and had to short sell their properties. So with the short sales, they ended up getting 1099s from the banks during this time. So, I know people that got that. It was awful. So there's that. And you're going to see that again. It's going to happen more and more right now. I get a kick out of people giving excuses for why their business is failing. Okay, think about this. Labor Day sales were off, and travel was off. Well, you know what it is. It's extreme weather. Look at Burning Man. It's climate change. This is what killed, all these businesses. So you have businesses that are sitting there saying that are not in resort towns. And, I'm walking through, Tustin. That's Citrus Park up on the hill. And the point is that to sit there and say sales were down here because of climate change is ridiculous. So that's what they're blaming. They're blaming all these decreases in sales on the fact that you have extreme weather. Now, Burning Man got destroyed. Burning Man, the unofficial end to it every year is Labor Day. And man, oh man, what a joke that thing turned out to be this year with the rain. And they blame it all on the weather. So, kind of interesting, guys, that we're seeing this over and over again. This is kind of a neat little park because it's all nestled in all the fruit trees, and you just walk the track and you go up the hill, and then you can overlook the golf course. But remember, everything's climate change's fault right now when it comes to your business failing. So your phone's not ringing, climate change. You're a consultant and you don't have any clients, it's climate change, guys. That's what it is. You're a lawyer? Okay, law firm's not doing well, it's climate change. Okay. All the robberies at the hardware stores and the retailers, smash and grabs, climate change. I personally love the videos that are coming out where people are fighting these people and throwing them out of the stores. And you have communities that have family members that are hanging out, you're not robbing my uncle's liquor store. Bye, get out of here. Okay, throwing the guy out. There's a Hispanic family that owns a jewelry store. I think it's Almani. They went old school on these people that tried to do a smash and grab. And it was kind of a reverse smash and grab, if you know what I mean. So just a matter of time. People are fed up. And, you know, I'm sure it's climate change that did that too. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. I love when experts step forward and put their 2 cents into the arena when it comes to gold. Nick Colas, he is a former analyst at Credit Suisse who stepped forward this week and said that people need to look at gold in a serious way this year. Because when you look at countries like Turkey, Russia, Brazil, India, they're buying gold like they never have before. Why is that? Gold is the future. Gold is going to be big. You need to call Patriot Gold and find out how you can get yourself an IRA or 401k that's backed by physical metals. They not only sell gold, they sell silver there, guys. Call them today, 888-330-1431. I love the customer service. I love the company. They will send you out a free investor guide. It's no obligation. But when you have these analysts that step forward and talk about how you need to protect yourself and do what these countries are doing, think about this. Gold is, you know, is impervious to sanctions. Gold is something that when you compare it to cash, it's been cash for thousands of years. And you need to get yourself protected and you need to get yourself gold in your portfolio. The best place to do it is Patriot Gold Group. Call them today. 888-330-1431. Let them know that Dan from iAllegedly sent you. One thing that I beat into my friend's head, my family, my friends, my kids, is have a plan for your financial future. You know, and again, the wish list is one thing. I suggest short-term goals, you know, a week, a month, 3 months, a year, where you want to be, what you want to do. Hey, I want to buy a house right now. Okay, great. So do I. And I look all the time. But, you know, we're going to look together right now if you want to do that. And I'm going to show you how to do it because the last thing I'm going to do is buy a house. If I found my dream house on my dream street, I wouldn't buy it. The houses that I looked at last week, both went down $100,000 to their ask price in a week. Isn't that interesting, guys? 100 G's off already in a week. And these are the people that whispered, hey, you know what, you can get this house for $200,000 less. Yeah, well, you're halfway there and then some. So 61% of the people out there, you know, are living paycheck to paycheck right now. And, you know, that you know, doesn't really bother me because a lot of people are tight with money. It's the fact that almost 25% of the people right now have to borrow money to eat right now. That's staggering right now. That is where you don't want to be. You don't want to be in a position to where you have to borrow money on your credit card for the necessities. Your life is upside down. If you're using the credit cards the wrong way, if you're not purchasing things, and again, I have friends, I use my credit cards all the time. I pay them off at the end of the month, every month. That's what I do. But if you are using them to get by, and I've done this, guys, I'm not, oh, I would never do that. I've done it. You have to have a plan. Well, it'll turn around, Dan. That's the plan. You know, things are bad right now, but they won't be bad forever. Oh, yeah? Want to bet? Yeah. You know, what if these are the good times in business? What if they are? You have to look at that. There is a financial show out there on Netflix that I have no desire to see right now. But the funny thing about this was this couple went out and bought a house, and we're going to make it up the hill here whether it kills us. There's the golf course, guys. Isn't that nice? Up here. People had $1,800 a month in rent. And what they did was they went out and bought a house. And ever since they bought the house, life is different. They're struggling. They are not making it. They went from $1,800 a month to $4,100 a month in their payment. But the other thing is they've got the insurance to pay for, the water bill, the electric bill, everything like that. You know, think about this. You can negotiate anything. You can go look for places that have utilities included right now. And because certain areas have rental problems, you can make offers. Hey, listen, if you guys pay the cable bill, you have that. A friend of mine in Vegas was like, Dan, they're going to throw internet in for a year if you move in here. Oh, that's cool. It's a good starting point for something. But again, let me get out of the sun for you guys. That's just the beginning. So you're going to see more and more problems with this. But these poor people that went to the point that they cannot live, they cannot sleep at night because of their house payment, what kind of hell is that? Okay, now there's going to be people out there, oh, it's stupid, $4,100 a month, that they got what they deserved. So many people right now cannot rent their houses out. Now, I wonder if that house would rent out for the $4,100 a month. I don't know where the city is, and I'm just curious as to if they would be able to do that. But that's what you have to look at right now. I'm telling you guys, get rid of everything you don't need right now. Sell it all. Sell it all while people have money. Educate yourself on finances. Educate yourself on what you want to do. And again, what do you know? What are you good at? I always go back to this one. Two people. A lady that wasn't particularly nice, wasn't particularly friendly. She did crocheting and just kind of snotty, kind of snooty. And she went out and she makes $10,000 a month selling crochet books from her house. Okay? That's a gig. It's a great gig. Woman I knew was a writer and wrote for TV shows and went out and created a course on how to write for TV and movies and made herself $10,000 a month doing that. What do you guys know about? You know? Think about it. There's a guy that wrote us about 6 months ago. Hey, Dan, I've been bankrupt 3 times and I know the process really well. And he's not bragging about it. He just says, do you think that I could write a book on that? Yeah, I do. I think you'd have to sell it for 10 or 15 bucks, under 20, because people that are in bankruptcy have no money. But that's just a perfect example of how you can make some money during this time. But these people that are leveraged to the hilt, it's only going to get worse, guys. And you're going to see this. You're going to see people that you never dreamed have money problems. But this time, I'm telling you, this time it's going to be worse, because the naysayers that don't believe that real estate's going to have a problem, you're kidding yourself. This is going to be catastrophic, absolutely catastrophic. And man, oh man, I should show you some of these houses. Not that I'm interested in the houses. I want you guys to understand that. But on Zillow, in the neighborhood on the hill, and like where I'm at right now, I mean, what they say, your estimated payment, $21,641. When I was a kid, got to go on a plane with my parents, and we traveled on a vacation when I was in junior high, and there was a man that owned the Lakers, Jerry Buss. His daughter, now Jeannie Buss, runs the team, and she just married comedian Jay Moore this weekend. But Mr. Buss bought this really cool house. And when you read the airline magazines, there was one of them, and it just was, the airlines was an experience. We got fed flying to Miami. We had the stewardesses that were just fantastic. Everything was great. But I read in an in-flight magazine that Jerry Buss had bought a house, and his house payment was $28,000 a month. And this was back in 1979, guys. So, man, oh man, oh man. It seemed like a lot then, it seems like a lot now. So people that have $28,000 a month, think about this. Muhammad Ali, when he was the champ and he was making money, he was out fighting, and for his entourage, when he put his feet on the floor every day, I'll never forget, my dad told me he had to make $10,000 a day just to pay for his lifestyle. Now again, it's all relative, and Floyd Mayweather does more, and Mike Tyson did more, and we have all these athletes that do this crazy stuff. But I just was like, God, that pressure of just being able to be $10,000 down every morning before you have, a bowl of cereal. Forget, that's how I thought of it as a kid. That was crazy. So, share your thoughts on this stuff, guys, because don't you want to be able to go to bed at night and sleep? There's a lot of people out there, that the cool kids out there, and so many people are acting like everything's good right now, and they're not. They're in deep trouble. Protect your retirement, protect yourself, look at ways to save money, and get some good financial advice from people. You can't get enough. My son came to visit for a couple weeks, and we were joking about how his food tastes have finally changed. He's finally grown up. Because when he was a kid, it was chicken strips and, grilled cheese sandwiches. I think that was the diet du jour. And the thing I would go crazy over is that he would get like a frozen dinner because he liked the shape of the chicken, nuggets, whether they be stars or animals or whatever. And he'd barely eat anything else and eat the vegetables, eat the dessert, eat it, and you lose your mind as a parent. Anyways, Banquet, the company, just announced that they had 245,000 chicken strips that they had to return because they may have plastic inside of them. And I was joking with my son. I said, that would have destroyed you when you were 9. It's like, oh, that's terrible. And you're seeing more and more things like that as far as food issues. Things get returned. It's kind of fascinating right now that we're having the recalls and things like that. Now, one thing that's going to destroy real estate, without a doubt, will be the Airbnb debacle. And New York City is a perfect example of this. They have thousands of listings right now that are going to be removed. And the only saving grace right now with the Airbnbs in New York is that the city has not made them remove them yet. They're just dragging their feet because they're, bureaucratic fools, and they're always behind. So the people that list these Airbnbs are keeping them up, man. Go until we can't go anymore. Keep the listings going. But this is going to destroy that industry. And you have people, think about this, people went out and rented apartments in high-end buildings and were charging people an absolute fortune to stay there for a night or two via Airbnb. Some people bought these places and did the same thing, and they had really high payments. And I had somebody reach out to me about 2 years ago. They go, Dan, you don't care what the payment is, because let me show you how you can make $25,000 a month with a condo in a city like this. It's just, scary. It was nuts, stupid. Remember how we heard about all the rich Silicon Valley titans that were buying property in California to build the dream city? Well, they have the first renderings of California forever, and it's going to be amazing. It's just going to be, you can ride your bike, you can take the train, and you and I aren't welcome there, okay? And, it's just that simple. So, I don't have a problem with rich people. I have a problem with pretentious people. There's a big difference, okay? I know a lot of really brilliant rich people they're super rich, that are good family men, family women, just great people, good business people, reliable, trustworthy. And then you have rich people that are just jerks, okay? And again, insert profanity here, guys. I don't like it when you swear. Well, there's times like right there, bam, it would have hit that softball over the fence. Anyways, these people are horrible. And there's a bunch of, I'm walking through the orchard, and it's just terrible. There's a bunch of flies up here. So, but California forever, guys. And you're not welcome. Okay, don't forget that, peasant. Okay. I'm going to end this video with these last couple stories. And the first one, I've had a lot of people write me about cash deposits in their bank lately. And you're seeing a lot of problems with banks shutting people's accounts down. I am telling you this, guys. Solve this problem for yourself. If you deal with checks, credit cards, cash only, whatever. Wow, Dan, I sell olive oil at the swap meet, and I just made $9,000, and they were really leery about this deposit. I am telling you, walk into your bank and sit down with the manager and say, this is what we do. This is how we sell it. This is our product. Because I'm telling you this right now, they're not business people, they're bankers. And oh, something suspicious. Have you seen that guy? See the way he dresses? Okay, he's always on his phone. He's clearly doing something illegal. So you don't want to do that. So the other thing is that people that do deposits, deposit in cash, the banks are worried right now about something called structuring deposits, where they think, oh, this guy's doing something nefarious, so he's putting in 2,000 here, 6,000 here, 8,000 here, 4,000 here, so he doesn't hit the $10,000 threshold. If you have a deposit in green cash that's $10,000, if it's change, same thing. They're going to report that to the IRS as a cash deposit and a cash transaction. And you just want to avoid that. But if you have the communication and you talk to these people and tell them what you want to do and what you're doing, I'm telling you, it solves this problem time and again. I've done this with friends. I've walked, oh, yeah. So you're a contractor, but then you do handyman work and then people pay you in cash. Yeah, that's what happens. That's why there's checks and $4,000 in cash today. Okay? You know? So, communication. The final thing is John Christomatis is a man that owns grocery store chains in New York. He wants to buy CNN and says he wants to do it and work there and run the place for $1. But man, oh man, could CNN use a boost? Could it use some new blood? You know, I mean, it's not even a news agency, it's a joke. You know, I don't know, I could rip on it for an hour. I'm not going to. I'm not going to take the time. You guys, let me know what you think about CNN these days, okay? So, but it could use a new owner right now, to say the least. And don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Again, guys, do research on stuff like this with your bank deposit, with your business, with what you do. Educate them. The problem with, you know, during the health crisis, a lot of people, you know, went and borrowed PPP money and EIDL money and they couldn't get access. I know some people that had deposits that were put into their accounts, the accounts were frozen, they never got it. I don't know how they resolved that because there's a loan out there for these people and you had to do paperwork and I never got it and you know, just a mess. So share your thoughts on all this stuff. Like, subscribe. I'll see you guys very soon, okay?